Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Coffee with Cory. I'm your host, Cory Smith, here to discuss some NC State men's basketball on a beautiful Wednesday morning out in Charlotte. I'm currently sitting inside my Airbnb, still about to leave to go over to the stadium, but wanted to touch on all this before we get things started. I don't know what the atmosphere is going to be like over in the Spectrum Center, so I wanted to make sure I got some a quiet area where I could just kind of talk to you guys, give my thoughts on this game. First of all, before we jump into things, I know a lot of people have questions about all the rumors swirling around Will Wade with LSU and all the different stuff that's going on right now. Wanted to let people know we do have a post this morning over on Pack Power 247. It is VIP. Obviously, there's a lot going on. I wanted to get proper sourcing and post as much as we are hearing right now about the situation. So you can head over to packpower247.com. check out more on all that. But I wanted to make sure the focus of this video is on NC State's matchup against Pittsburgh, which will tip off at noon, the second round of the ACC Tournament here in Charlotte at the Spectrum Center. Let's first focus on the priorities for NC State on the offensive side of the basketball. The biggest priority for NC State is being more efficient from three-point range. I've talked about it a lot the last few days. The lack of efficiency for NC State from three-point range over the last 4 games. You go back to the UNC game. That was the last time that NC State shot above 40% from three-point range. That was 9 of 20. Against UVA, 9 of 33. Against Notre Dame, 10 of 34. Against Duke, 7 of 29. And against Stanford, 7 of 20. Now, that obviously includes the last-minute heave for Paul McNeil, which got NC State from 6 of 19 to 7 of 20 in that game. But again, the numbers would have been far worse if that would have happened. In the last 4 games alone, they've shot below 28% from three-point range. That's not good enough for this team. This is a team that has made over 300 three-pointers this season, has been one of the most efficient teams in not only the ACC, but across the country this entire season from three-point range. That's got to improve in this game. You go back to the last time that NC State faced Pittsburgh, it wasn't great overall, 7 of 20. So again, similar to numbers to what you saw the last time around against Stanford. But a major reason for that was, this last game, Stanford went 11 of 29. That Pittsburgh team went exactly 11 of 29. So those all factor in. But I feel like if NC State's more efficient in this game, if they're able to hit from three-point range better in this game, once you get into the ACC tournament, you've got a great chance to be able to not only win this game, but win it by a substantial margin, which I believe the point spread right now is minus 8.5 in favor of NC State. So that's kind of what you're aiming for. You want to be able to beat the spread, win this game comfortably, and help your metrics against a team that's not great. Like Pittsburgh is just not a great team. You would have been better off if you would have faced Stanford, knocked them out of the NCAA tournament, and won that game with what could have been a high Q2, low Q1 type win. But this is where NC State is. This is what you have to take care of. And I think three-point shooting being better in this game. Paul McNeil was 5 of 9 last time. We'll talk about him here in just a second. He will be my pick to click, a guy that I think if he gets going, can really raise NC State's ceiling in this game and help them to be able to pull out at what should be a win, an easy win in this one potentially. But that's going to come down to, on the defensive side of the basketball, NC State at least, being competitive on the boards. The last time these two teams faced, they were not even remotely competitive. Gave up over 52% of the offensive rebounding percentage by Pitt. 53.1% was the offensive rebounding percentage. It was the highest total that NC State has allowed so far this season. They were also out-rebounded 52 to 31. 26 of those for Pittsburgh came on the offensive end of the floor. NC State was out-rebounded on the defensive end of the floor 26 to 23 by Pittsburgh alone. That is not a good enough number. You have to be more competitive on the boards, whether it's Vin Lubin underneath the basket, whether it's guys like Paul McNeil, Matt Abel, anybody else on this team crashing the boards. You've got size across the board. you don't have the physicality. So you have to crash the boards and go on an all-out effort to be able to get those rebounds. This is not a great three-point shooting team for Pittsburgh. So as much as you're trying to limit what they do from a three-point standpoint and try to not crash the boards and play sound defense, this team has to put a little bit more effort into those offensive rebounds. It's been an issue for the most part all season long. They've won games when they've won the rebounding battle. They've lost them when they haven't. Pittsburgh was a team where they defied all of those things, and a lot of that was because of Cory Smith down low and the way that he played in the last game. Quadir Copeland being able to drive to the basket, and then both of those guys getting to the free throw line and being efficient. But it just feels like if you want to win this game and win it outright, win it comfortably, you're going to have to put all those things together and be better from that perspective going into this one. My pick to click, I mentioned him earlier, Paul McNeil, a guy that, look, when he's on, NC State is in a better place. He takes a lot of the gravity away from the rest of the offense, gives other guys room to shoot. So whether or not he's shooting every single possession or not, this Pitt team knows exactly what he's capable of. They've seen it. He went 5 of 9 from three-point range in the last time. All 15 of his points came from three-point range. He's been better actually inside the arc here lately. So if you can get both of those things, I say better, not better than being a three-point shooter. I'm saying better, in terms of driving, in terms of being able to score inside too. So if you could put both of those things together in this game and give NC State, another offensive weapon, another consistent offensive weapon that Pitt has to respect outside of just Quadir Copeland driving to the basket and kicking out and finding guys open, outside of Vinal Lubin being down low, like that takes away some of the drop coverage that Pitt's going to give. And it gives NC State a better opportunity to rebound on the offensive boards too, something that it struggled with last time. Only 8 offensive boards off of almost 30 misses last time around, 29 misses, and only rebounded 8 of those. So you want to be able to win this game. You've got to be efficient from three-point range. I feel like Paul McNeil is the guy in this game that gets them going. There will be others. Trey Holloman shoots the 3 well. Obviously, Matt Abel has shot the 3 well so far this season. He was 0 for 2 from three-point range last time around. Went 4 from 9 overall, so 4 from 7 inside the arc. So can he help there? Yes, it does feel like he's another guy that can help there. But for NC State, I feel like it starts and ends with Paul McNeil and Dario Williams trying to get going too. The last game around, 2 of 8 for him from the field. Only finished with 7 points, and a lot of those came from the free throw line. So can he get going in this one and make a kind of spark his way once he gets into postseason and try to get to the NCAA tournament? We'll see, but it just feels like Paul McNeil is a guy that if he gets clicking, if he gets going, that takes so much more off of the other guys around him and gives them open opportunities, alleviates some of the pressure for them. And it just feels like he's a guy that if he gets going, NC State, everything changes for them from all 3 levels of the offense and gives them a chance on defense too to try to be able to compete there because you're more efficient. You're not the other team is not getting out in transition as easily if he's more efficient too. So I'm putting all those into account and then going into my prediction. This feels like a game I'm somewhere around. It feels like 85 to 75 is what I'm going with. I think NC State gets off to a little bit of a slow start offensively early on. Maybe Pittsburgh is able to kind of keep things tight. But NC State, once they get clicking from three-point range, once they get clicking from inside and allowing guys like Vinal Lubin, who was extremely efficient last time around, a lot of that was getting feeds down low. He was only took 6 shots, but made all 5 of them, drew fouls, and went 7 of 8 last time around against Pittsburgh. Can he get going in this one? You're going to need him on the boards, so you're going to need him to be, underneath there and getting easy putbacks too. But it just, to me, I think NC State gets going offensively from outside and finally sees, a bit of a reset in the ACC tournament to try to turn this offense around and really get things going. And that leads to better defense. That leads to more set defense. That leads to better offensive or better defensive possessions if your offense gets going from an efficiency standpoint, but also is able to put up points on a consistent basis. And I think that's what NC State truly needs to do in this game. I'm saying 85 to 75 is my prediction. Paul McNeil is the guy that I think needs to get going in this one, is my pick to click in this one. And we'll see. NC State tips off at noon at the Spectrum Center. We'll have full coverage. I'll be there. Miles Mastrocola will be there for us. Chris Regone will be shooting photos And then, again, my guy Charlie Gribble will be doing the live tweeting for us. So we'll have plenty of coverage from all around the Spectrum Center throughout the day. Again, if you're jumping on here because you wanted the Will Wade scoop, we've got it over on the site already. But thank you to everybody for listening. We will talk to you again soon.